Welcome, seekers of whispers and guardians of backstage truth, to the place where yesterday's echoes collide with today's spotlight. Welcome to Turkish series stars. On screen, love can look so vivid that it stains reality. It leaves stains that the heart remembers, even when the mind says it's time to move on. But what happens when one private line, exchanged in a circle meant to be safe, slips beyond those walls and becomes the spark for a public bonfire? Tonight we unravel the tale rattling the corridors of sets and studios, starring Akin, his fiancée Ebru, and a memory that refuses to surrender its last breath. Before we plunge in, a quick pact between us: hit like if you believe today deserves to win over yesterday, subscribe to Turkish series stars so none of our deep dives escape you, and if you want to keep this engine of emotional sleuthing alive, tap join. Ready to walk through the smoke and see the shapes inside? This time, the storm swirls around Akin and Ebru. It began as a faint ripple, a few soft confessions, shared among confidants who keep secrets as if they were vows. Yet the ripple found a current, and the current carried it farther than anyone intended. The story, as reconstructed by those who claim to have heard it firsthand, goes like this. Ebru, now formally engaged to Akin, spoke with unusual clarity about a chapter from his past that a certain faction of nostalgic fans still treats like an unfinished script. And the sentence at the center, the one turning heads and stiffening spines, was spare and final, a knell that admits no debate. His feelings for that old flame have faded into nothing. Let's breathe with that for a moment. The phrase is sharp because it closes a door, and closed doors can anger those who prefer it left on the latch. Was Ebru right to make the line bright, unmistakable? Or do some truths deserve to be left in the dim, where they harm no one? Tell us in the comments. I want to hear your verdict as much as the fan pages do. Those who understand how delicate relationships can be insist Ebru had no wish to provoke. They say she simply wanted to quiet the persistent what-ifs, to stop the tug-of-war between old narratives and new beginnings. To her closest friends, she reportedly said that Akin is in a new season of his life, grounded, calm, forward-looking, and that this particular story has ended, not with a cliffhanger, but with credits rolling. Her tone, described by those present, was warm yet steady, a promise that nostalgia won't be allowed to redraw the map of their future. Predictably, once whispers slipped into the hungry air of public debate, attention locked onto Akin and the woman many presume was once his real off-screen affection. The two had shared meaningful projects and had been the subject of countless fan theories claiming a hidden romance. Those theories never quite died, they slept, waiting. But the engagement woke them, and some people read Ebru's remark as a polite but unmistakable line in the sand: that era is over, sealed and archived. On the other side, the woman rumored to be the past love has kept her lips sealed. Her social media scrolls like a storyboard of work, rehearsals, scripts, table reads, a carousel of projects gaining traction. She hasn't stepped into the theater of speculation. For some observers, that silence is sovereign restraint, refusing to join a show she didn't write. Others suspect she's preparing one carefully phrased statement, something that will acknowledge while preserving distance, tidy yet bulletproof. And what of Akin? He's always guarded the private layers of his life. He smiles through the noise, and if he shares anything, it's usually about the work. Even when the engagement became official, he kept the celebration intimate, the words few. Now that rumors turn again, he stays consistent. Measured but focused, not feeding the cravings of the rumor beast. People around him say he's annoyed that a retired topic keeps re-entering the frame, but determined to keep everything from escalating. He trains, he works, he plans, and whatever quiet is left in the day, he gives to his fiancée and to the step they're preparing to take. If you're still with me in this deep dive, like this video now. And to help Turkish series stars keep threading these delicate needles, subscribe. Your loyalty keeps the lights on in this room where we read between the lines. With the leak hitting media veins, ripples reached the couple's inner circle. Some friends felt blindsided by how a private assurance morphed into headlines. Yet the message attributed to Ebru was unambiguous. She emphasized the man she knows today, not the collage of fantasies that fans continue to pin on yesterday. To insiders, she described a calm between them. Solid enough that old echoes can knock and receive no answer. Her stance reads like the posture of a partner who trusts, not someone flailing at shadows. Meanwhile, sets where Akin currently works have turned discreet. No one wants their offhand comment to seed a new rumor. Crew members report that he's focused, doesn't linger in gossip corners, and keeps his talk professional. A few who spoke off the record say his patience is worn thin, but he refuses to answer in the heat. If silence is a tool, he is using it with care. As for the circles around the alleged ex, opinions split. Some of her peers argue it's unfair to keep attaching her name to an old script. She's steering her own ship, they say, and shouldn't be yanked back by curiosity. Others know the truth of this industry, where nostalgia and fame overlap, the past never disappears, it just dims, waiting for a fresh reason to glow. There's chatter of a future interview where she might address the buzz on her terms, short, controlled, decisive. One consistent note from those close to the couple, Ebru has remained composed. She's not spinning plates for show. She's not scrambling to reshape the narrative. In private, she reportedly calls the chatter background noise, irritating but faint, and incapable of touching what truly matters. To many, that piece looks like a pair moving toward marriage with eyes open, grateful for their shared present, unafraid of past shadows, and certain of where the road goes next. Of course, the tabloids have shoved their lenses closer. Old wounds, even when barely scars, itch when pressed. The line that traveled from a living room to the news cycle has become a prism for endless interpretation. In a twist, some corners have even twisted it into a different confession, claiming she said he no longer loves me, flipping the meaning and spiking the drama. But those who kept their heads see the heartbeat of the message, boundaries are being drawn, clear and firm, and those fences leave little room for the ghost of a romance that belongs to another time. Observers also clocked that Akin's social media has gone even more minimalist. No coy hints, no puzzle piece captions, no sly references. The refusal to nod at the whispers reads as a statement of its own. Silence can carry weight, especially from someone who has always preferred to let craft outshine chatter. Layer by layer, what began as a private reassurance, one partner soothing the other's space, has swelled into a front-page narrative. The triangle some spectators want to sketch, Akin, Ebru, and a memory given the shape of a third presence, has been dragged under hot lights. Yesterday's rumors, a new engagement, and a handful of carefully chosen words have become a whirlwind that fascinates precisely because it feels so personal, so close to the vein. Where do we stand, then, as night settles on this story? With threads that, when pulled together, reveal what many suspected. A leading man who shrinks from spectacle, a fiancé who prefers conviction to capitulation, and a specter that, however compelling, belongs to the archive. The sentence that stirred everyone might be brief, but its echoes travel. It says, "We know who we are now, and the map ahead doesn't include detours back into the old maze." So tell me, friends of Turkish series stars, was Ebru right to claim her space with plain speech, or would the quiet blade of silence have done the job better? Share your take below. And don't leave without subscribing, ringing the bell, and sending this to the friend who always has a theory. We'll be back when the next truth knocks, and you know we'll open the door, step aside, and let it speak for itself. And until then, remember this, the most powerful lines aren't always said at a press conference. Sometimes they're whispered, meant only for a few, and yet somehow they guide a whole future. For Akin and Ebru, that future looks steady. Let the past keep its old music. They're already dancing to another song, one written for now, and for what's to come.